Okay, hello and welcome. I am glad we can come again today and have a Q&A, and this will be available for people to watch later on. I know there's people that wanted to join in today and weren't able to, so I am going to address some questions that I've been getting, and I'm sure if one person is asking them, somebody else is asking. All right, so we're going to have a few minutes here to address some questions. All right, so wherever you might be at in your journey, I'm sure some of these questions are going to be helpful for you. One of the questions is, does it matter to me when I take my products? All right, and does it matter when I take my products? So let's say you've just gotten your product package and you're looking at the instructions on the packages and you're trying to figure out, all right, if your sponsor hasn't given you a instruction sheet, I really encourage you to reach out to them and get that instruction sheet from them. It will give you some really good step-by-step tips, and sometimes we forget, so don't hesitate to ask. But here is kind of some of what I like, some tips or whatever for when to take your products. Some people will do like a morning, afternoon, evening routine. For some people, you need to stick to a morning and an evening routine. And most all products, we can figure out a routine to do that. Here's a couple of tips to keep in mind. A lot of times we find taking Probio 5 and BioCleanse, Mega X, those are really good to take at night right before you go to bed. In general, probiotics are good on a more empty stomach. So either first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed at night. And here's what I like to always encourage people is, if you start taking something at night and you feel like it messes with your sleep, because that can happen, just as your body is going through some adjustments and some changes. It totally happened to me. And I just did some adjusting, moved some products to change my Probio 5 to taking it in the morning, and then it didn't affect my sleep. And now I'm back to taking it at night again. So generally we start out with that at night. And so Vital Biome, people often take first thing in the morning or at night. Your multivitamin, your X Factor Plus, it is highly recommended to take that with food. So maybe like your breakfast or lunch is when you're going to want to take X Factor Plus. X Factor, not such a big deal. X Factor Plus has more ingredients. It has some polyphenols in it, which just settles better when you take it with food. My husband, no, he does take his with food now, but there have been times that we've taken it in the morning and it's been fine. You can kind of try your body out with that. Here's something to remember though, when you are using something like when you're using Slim, make sure you mix it up and drink it within 40 minutes of mixing it. What you don't want to do is mix your Slim and then drink on it all day, or mix it in the morning to drink it in the afternoon. It is not as effective. Okay. This one is really, really important. And if weight loss is one of your goals, drinking your Slim over about a 30-minute period right before your largest meal is usually the best time to do that. However, just getting it in sometime during the day is better than not getting it in at all. And here's another question that I often get is, I forgot to take my Slim in the morning. Can I drink it? And it's like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Absolutely. There is not caffeine in Slim. It is not going to keep you awake. In fact, one of the things that we hear the most when people from Slim is people will notice that they're sleeping better. Okay. So it is not going to affect your sleep. You can drink it whenever you want. And then products like Edge and Active and Metaburn that actually do have a little bit of caffeine, either like from green coffee beans or green tea. I just suggest that, you know what, if you're not going to drink a cup of coffee or green tea after supper, you probably don't want to be drinking these then either. And personally, I don't like taking them past about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Active, I'll a little quicker drink, maybe a half a pack at 5 or 6 o'clock. Just a couple of things to keep in mind for that. So again, reference your sheet that we give you about getting started, and check with your sponsor if you have any questions. All right. Another question. This was a good question. Someone asked me, do you know of people getting indigestion from taking Plexus? I don't remember who asked this question, and we discussed it. Here's what can so often happen. So somebody was experiencing some stomach upset or something with starting their products, or maybe they had been on them a while. A lot of times, so as your body is going through healing and detoxing, sometimes you don't feel the greatest. It's what happens. Sometimes you feel a little worse before you actually feel better. It's your body going through what we call detox, candida die-off. And oftentimes not feeling well can be misinterpreted as, oh, I'm allergic to the products, or my body can't handle them. Read about detox and die-off, and you'll understand it's your body getting rid of the toxins, and that has left you not feeling well. So often, that is what is going on. If you're not feeling well, sometimes it means just adjusting your products. Again, reach out to myself or whoever helped you get started, and we can give you some tips for getting through that. If you're in our Gut Health and Happiness group on Facebook, which I highly, highly encourage you to, if you're not already, there is so many good tips in there in Gut Health and Happiness about detox and die-off and understanding it. And here's the other thing to also keep in mind is your body can go through phases of healing. And sometimes you might hit a phase of detox or die-off in the beginning, and then you start to feeling well, and then you sort of feel like you hit another slump. Think about an onion. As you're peeling back the layers of an onion, and so you are in your body, you're peeling back the layers of healing that needs to happen. So it doesn't always all happen at once. Let's see, there was some more questions here. All right, here was another really good one. How long do I increase my Probio5? So if you have if you've chatted with us about your regimen, it's one of the things that we often talk about and often encourage. And I have loved learning from Jessica Hugendorn. If you have not listened to any of her things on YouTube, she is a naturopath. She is part of the same team that I am in Plexus. And I have met her. She's a wonderful lady. She's a wealth of knowledge. And as a naturopath, she has a really great way of explaining how our bodies heal and all of that. And I have learned so much from her. And check her YouTube channel out if you haven't, if you want to learn more about how your body actually goes through that healing process. But part of the healing is, and we may have even shared an article with you from her about how increasing your Probio5 or your vital biome, especially your probiotics, in the first few months is often one of the best ways to heal. Like your bottle will say like 1 or 2 capsules. That's like your maintenance dose. If you are really trying to heal some gut issues, you're going to want to work up to some higher doses. And how long so let's say you work up to 3 probio, how long do you stay there? Well, I want to give you a picture of, here is how it went for me. And I think this can help you judge what is going to be best for you. So when I started, I didn't even learn about the benefits of increasing my probiotic until like a year and a half in on my journey. And I was reading somewhere about how increasing for someone else had meant it had helped with their sugar cravings. So, and really, let's just break that down. What that means is there was still some layers of the onion, some layers in the gut that needed to be healed. For some people, it's sugar cravings. For some people, it might be allergies or sleep or whatever. But when I started increasing my probiotic, every time I increased it, I actually noticed a little more detox. And for detox, some people, that can be it can be stomach upset. It can be some digestive issues, maybe some bloating, fatigue. For me, it was actually increased anxiety. And so every time when I increased it to 3 probio, I noticed, I'm feeling more anxiety. It took me a little bit to catch on this was actually detox, which told me my body needed this. My body had extra healing to do. So I was like, well, we're going to do this for a little bit. I did that for like a couple of weeks. And I'm like, I'm going to up it to 4. Let's see if there's more healing there that needs to happen. And I upped it to 4. And sure enough, I felt the detox again. When I went from 5 to 6, I didn't really notice the detox like I had noticed before. So I just judged how much I was going to increase and for how long by how my body felt. When you understand kind of what you're looking for and what's happening, you can actually make some educated judgments on those yourself. But for sure, we'll be glad to, point you to some resources and help you make those decisions. But ultimately, it is your decision. And that is what I learned and what I experienced. So watch for the signs. What happens when you increase? And once you increase, like what happened after you stay there for a few months? What happens when you start to back down again? Do you find that your body's missing it? If your body's missing it and like you start to feel like you're not feeling well, your body was really liking all that nutrition and all that probiotic that it was getting. So then you might want to, that'll help you figure out if that's where your sweet spot is. Everybody's sweet spot can be a little different. Oftentimes people will maybe settle at 3 probio 5. It can just be different. Some people it's 2 every day. Some people it's 6. I actually had a friend who said she took 8 probio 5 a day, but she had a very, very bad, like a gut disease. And she said, when I take 4 in the morning and 4 at night, she said, it keeps me out of the ER. And that was worth everything to her. All right. Okay. Here was another good one. Is Plexus safe for pregnant mamas? Well, every pregnant mama is going to have to make that a choice for themselves. But here are some tips that I will give you. A lot of supplements are going to say that to check with your physician if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. That's just kind of across the board. A lot of the moms on our team who are pregnant have loved using our supplements. They love what it's done for their hormones and their milk supply and so many things like that. And I had a friend of mine that I was just talking to yesterday who is pregnant. And she's like, when I told my midwife which supplements I was using, she said, I love when I know that my pregnant patients are using those products. So she said, they're really good for you. And a lot of doctors and midwives are saying that. So Plexus has been very, very helpful to so many pregnant moms. All right. A couple more questions. Are there any promos this month? So there aren't any promos for existing customers as far as product promos. We do have, if anybody signs up with a welcome pack, a new VIP with a welcome pack, in the US, Plexus is giving a free bag of Active with every welcome pack, which is absolutely incredible. If you've tried Active, you know how absolutely delicious Active is. And so it is always fun when we see that happening. So Starfruit Guava is what you're getting if you're signing up with a VIP welcome pack in the States this month. So obviously you've probably already gotten your welcome pack, but if you know of anybody else that is interested, that is what they get. And 10% off of those welcome packs if you use the code SAM2020. So that is still working. That should work in Canada and in the States. And product of the month. Oh, okay. Here was the one other thing. Okay. So if anybody does use your referral link this month, if you just got your VIP welcome pack last month, you have the option of either getting like $20 or so in product credit if your referral link gets used on their first order. If you choose, you could opt in for like twice as much cash back. So it's just a choice there that you have. If anybody does use your referral link, you can choose the product credit or the cash back. This month, if your referral link is used 3 times for a welcome pack, your cash back is actually something like $465. So if you have any questions about that, we'll be happy to answer any questions. Product of the month this month in the States is Edge, and here in Canada, it is Hydroplex. And what does that mean? If those products are in your subscription, whether it's in a combo or individually, you're going to earn 50 extra perk credits, which is equivalent to about $5 US, maybe 8 Canadian dollars. And remember, your perk credits can be redeemed for free product with a subscription order at some point. You can log into the My Account section, and there's a perks tab on the left-hand side. You can click on to see how many perks you have. As long as your subscription order stays at 100 PV, you are earning perk credits, and you get to keep your perk credits. We talked about this a little bit more in our last Q&A in April. So go back and listen to that if you have more questions about perk credits. And that is all the questions we're going to answer for this May Q&A. Thanks for being here, and have yourself a really good afternoon.